Anthony Joshua restored the faith in boxing there by doing that, and he had to do that.
Did. What did I just watch? This is Paulie Malignaggi for Paulie TV. What did I just watch? All right? Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is over. Thank God it's over.
Sometimes a story ends in the way that the story should end. It always should have ended with Anthony Joshua knocking out Jake Paul. And that's exactly what we got.
I think Jake Paul had a reality check to all these bold predictions that he was going to do. Reality kicked in once he was stood there in that big 22-foot ring with Anthony Joshua in the corner.
But the bottom line is this. It took Anthony Joshua 6 rounds to stop YouTuber Jake Paul, who spent much of the fight not engaging and clinging to AJ's legs. At one point, the referee had warned the pair of them. The fans didn't pay to watch this crap. Joshua finally imposed himself by knocking down Paul twice in the 5th round, delivered the knockout blow, boom, in the 6th, and broke his jaw reportedly in 2 places. After the fight, Gareth A. Davis caught up with Joshua.
People will criticise you for going 6 rounds with Jake Paul. How do you feel about that?
I deserve it.
Why? Come on.
Because, we're elite fighters. So I put myself in the shoes of a coach. If I was coaching Anthony Joshua and he went 6 rounds with Jake Paul, I would get him back in the gym tomorrow, give him a bit of a beating, and we're getting straight back to work, because I'll be like, how are you letting this kid take you 6 rounds? Are you crazy? But I can't go back in time.
As soon as the fight ended, boxing analysts couldn't help but laugh at Jake Paul, because this wasn't some shocking upset. It was a long-delayed reality check, the kind where confidence crashes straight into heavyweight power and loses every...
Stay away and disengage long enough to where he can be proud of going 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua. And it sounds like I'm being a hater. I'm not being a hater. I'm just saying what I saw, right? I don't think he was there to actually fight him. What was the game plan? Stick and move, try and lunge in, try and shoot in a takedown? No, that's not how you win a boxing fight.
The so-called Golden Boy experiment didn't finish with chaos or disbelief. It finished with sore ribs, shaken heads, and that quiet moment that always comes when hype finally runs into consequences.
Dude's got balls. Dude's got balls standing there with AJ, who had been off, so his chin is refreshed. He's ready to fight.
I'm not surprised that Anthony Joshua could have knocked Jake Paul out anytime he wanted to. He didn't want to.
So why didn't he?
Because, well, when you're on a platform like Netflix that turns 1-part episodes into a 6-part series, why would you think that part of their entertainment model is to have a 30-second fight? Why?
Let's be honest, nobody should be shocked. Anyone who understands boxing saw this ending coming months ago. Jake's rise was built on carefully chosen risks. Retired MMA fighters, worn-down champions, and athletes more used to holding a basketball than throwing punches. Big promotion, viral moments, talk about changing boxing, then repeat the cycle.
I hat to him, for showing the balls that he did, for taking the fight in the first place, for not folding as soon as he got cracked with the right hand. There was one moment where he did get hit and he kind of buckled, and he had a look on his face like, oh, this is a real fight now. But he still stayed on his feet. And even like you said, when he got knocked down 4 times in all, he still got up. I mean, obviously the final knockdown, he didn't get up to beat the count, but he was on his rear end. He wasn't flat on his back out cold. And that was a heavy duty right hand, the last one that landed. I think that's the one that probably broke his jaw.
Then 2025 arrived, and suddenly Jake was facing Anthony Joshua, a former unified heavyweight champion with Olympic gold and years of hard-earned damage. Joshua showed up with more than 25 pro wins, multiple world titles, and a journey that began in London 2012. Jake showed up with 13 fights and no experience against true elite heavyweight skill.
Ultimately, we know he's not a boxer, so he's still a little bit delusional, because he's really lucky that that's all he got out of that fight with was a broken jaw. I think it's broken 2 places, so that really should signal the end of his boxing. I'm not going to call it a career. It is what it is, but that should signal the end.
From the opening bell, the difference was obvious. AJ controlled space like someone who had lived there for years. He set traps, managed the tempo, and let Jake chase chances that never existed. Yes, size mattered, but experience was the real gap.
Anthony Joshua was a chiseled 250 in most of his fights or thereabouts. So from that standpoint, he had all the physical advantages as well as all the experience and skills advantages. So why couldn't he do it earlier? Because it's hard to catch up with a guy when he's just going to run around and never try to even take a front step whatsoever. So that made it.
Jake spent the week talking about knockouts. Joshua showed up to do his job. The early rounds were calm in a dangerous way. Slow, patient, no panic, just the ring slowly closing in. Jake tried to project belief, but his movement told the truth. Stepping back, resetting late, reacting instead of leading. When the knockout finally came, it surprised no one who was honest about the matchup. In heavyweight boxing, reality doesn't warn you, it...
Are you telling me that Netflix probably emphasised, listen guys, take this as long as you can?
So the bottom line is you take nothing from this. It was an entertainment product designed to get Netflix
But last week you said it wasn't scripted.
I think that ultimately Anthony Joshua's approach to it was what I said at the beginning. What I said was,
now you're telling us Netflix passed on a message, guys.
I'm saying that Netflix's modus operandi is to operate with this kind of principle, which is stretch the entertainment. Anthony Joshua goes in. I framed the question to these boys that have been in the ring. Could he go in there on an aroused mindset because he knows what he's dealing with? No. He goes in as a killer. He went in there with a mindset, knowing what he was dealing with, and took his time and had no reason to do anything other than get him out of there when he felt like.
Then attention shifted straight to Jake's world, starting with Nikisa Badarian. The moment he grabbed the MIC, it felt like we moved from the fight to damage control. Now it wasn't about injuries. It was about pride. I listened to Nikisa and understood it. This was loyalty mode. That's his role. He admitted Jake lost, but focused on what he gained by lasting with Anthony Joshua, an Olympic gold medalist and two-time world champion.
He feels, disappointed that he lost, but as I said to him, he should be very proud in what he won. And what he won was showing the world that he's a capable boxer who hung in there with a Olympic gold medalist, two-time world champion, who's actually been recovering and being fresh for over 14 months. People are like, oh, he's rusty, he's been out of the ring. It's actually the opposite. He took a break. He let his body recuperate, right? And he was preparing for a fight in November. So that was the mind.
And look, the pride makes sense. 6 years ago, Jake was making YouTube videos, and now he's taking shots that have dropped real heavyweights. That matters. But let's be real. Lasting isn't the same as competing. Winning moments doesn't change the ending. Calling AJ's time off a master recovery plan is elite spin, but Joshua wasn't searching for himself in there. When Nikisa said he was yelling non-stop at ringside, I believe him. When your fighter is borrowing seconds from a heavyweight clock, every moment feels like extra time. I respect the loyalty and the optimism, but this felt less like a breakthrough and more like accepting there's a limit. Jake showed heart, no doubt, but boxing doesn't reward effort alone. It counts damage, and damage always adds.
Walk me through the emotions of watching it, what was happening.
Look, a lot of surrealism in terms of what I was seeing. For Jake Paul, who I met 6 years ago, who was a quote-unquote YouTuber, to be hanging in there, coming to round 6, won at least 2 rounds in my mind of that fight, where the British media constantly say he's a novice. A novice went in there and showed an Olympic gold medalist from the United Kingdom that he could hang with him on 4 weeks' notice.
Right after Nikisa wrapped up the Pride angle, the camera cut to Pauli Malignaggi, who sounded like someone who bought front row tickets and immediately regretted it. Pauli wasn't analyzing, he was emotionally recovering in real time. I listened, laughed, cringed, and agreed all at once. He was saying what many people felt but tried to soften. Jake didn't fight. He moved, ran, grabbed, slipped, and found creative ways to burn time. Paulie's reaction wasn't hate.
Honestly, what do you want the guy to do? I mean, this guy ran for his life in a 22 by 22 foot ring. That ring was huge. That ring was huge. I can't believe what I just watched, guys. I'm seriously, like, dude, that's it. That's it. This was AJ's chance. Could have went out on his shield and his chance to say, yeah, get the respect of the boxing community. This was the one that could have got him the respect of the boxing community. This was the one. He came out with all this rap crap and doing the Hulkamania crap and all that other stuff and all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, is he that calm or is he literally just setting up his own demise? I mean, I don't know. AJ came out to the ring really serious, which would you expect? And then, I mean, he never fought. Jake never fought.
That feeling of this being the moment to earn real respect and choosing survival instead. He still gave AJ credit, because what else should Joshua do? Grow wheels mid-fight? Heavyweights aren't built to chase runners in massive rings. The funniest part was Pauli admitting he nearly left early, which says everything about the mood. This wasn't edge-of-your-seat drama. It was disbelief. Jake talked loud, looked flashy, and then boxed like someone avoiding eye contact at a family gathering. Pauli saying 3 wild minutes would earn more respect than 6 rounds of surviving sound harsh, but it's true. Boxing respects intent more than stamina. When he brought up the money, Netflix, and the missed opportunity, that wasn't bitterness. That was a lifelong boxer mourning what could have been. Nikisa saw pride, Pauli saw wasted chance, and most of us are stuck in the middle.
I don't know, man. And it's really something mind-boggling that just happened. I mean, forget about you know what you could do for boxing if Netflix spent, what they make, 90 million each, whatever. You know, if they say they make 50 million each. If you spent 100 million on boxing, you know what, you could completely resurrect boxing. You know the kind of fights you can make with $100 million in boxing. You know what the kind of traction boxing would have if you spent $100 million on boxing and made the best would fight the best easily.
After Pauli finished venting like someone who aged a decade in 6 rounds, we moved to Wade Plemons checking in from Dubai with calm, clear energy. It felt like the sober breakdown after the chaos. Wade didn't exaggerate. He basically said this wasn't mysterious. It was levels. There were only 2 possible endings. Either Jake lands a miracle punch or Anthony Joshua eventually reminds him this is heavyweight boxing, not a pep talk. AJ didn't chase highlights, but he did exactly what was required. Pressure, patience, wear him down, wait for the opening. That's grown man boxing. Jake stayed mobile and ran when needed. Anyone expecting him to stand and trade was fooling themselves.
Take out, make Jake hold his weight, and have the referee separate. That led to Jake, as soon as he felt AJ putting his weight on him or pushing him down, hitting the floor, diving at AJ's knees, and then eventually Jake would go to clinch and immediately fall to the ground on his own. And this became a problem because then it looked intentionally like Jake was going to the ground. There was one time where Jake went to the ground and AJ kept swinging on him. That I didn't like to see, but this was Jake's survival of the fittest moment. This was Darwinism in a boxing ring, right? He had to do whatever he could to just extend the fight and get one more, hope and pray shot, one more step back. He had a great step back uppercut, I think in the 4th round that it clipped AJ. Honestly, you could see what AJ had said in their face-to-face, that he needed to break Jake's soul. He needed to break it.
Where Wade really hit the mark was describing the moment reality sets in. You could see it on Jake's face before the knockout. Breathing heavier, legs slowing, confidence quietly fading. This wasn't about giving up. It was realizing his best effort wasn't enough. Jake took real punishment, got back up, and you can't fake that at this weight. But heavyweight power always comes due. When that right hand landed clean, all the talk about scripts and setups disappeared instantly. Faces don't change shape by coincidence. Wade said it clearly. This wasn't peak Joshua, but it was effective Joshua, and that was enough. Jake earned toughness credit. AJ protected his name. And the sport reminded us that social media hype has limits.
I respect the hell out of him for going and doing it, and there's not any normal people on earth that would have done it. I don't care if you say, oh, for the money I would have, you're lying. And there's not many pro boxers that would have done what Jake did in stepping in with AJ, giving it his best shot, and, he wasn't anywhere near AJ's level. He just wasn't. He had the script flipped on him tonight, just levels to the game. He just did not have the skill, ability, power, size, speed, or endurance to hang with AJ. And that's the difference in heavyweight.
When you put it all together, the jokes, the loyalty speeches, the frustration, the calm analysis, this wasn't just one fight. It was hype crashing into reality, survival meeting patience, all in one ring. Some will say Jake proved toughness. Others will say he wasted his biggest chance. Many will argue AJ handled it like a veteran who knew time favored him. That's why this fight is both fascinating and messy. It didn't give clear answers. It created debate. Now it's your turn. Was this smart patience, pure inevitability, or boxing doing what it always does and reminding us that levels ignore storylines? Share your thoughts, keep it respectful, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The King Boxing. See you next time.